Alright, I didn't check fantasy this week. Let's see how bad I did. Actually, I think I did pretty good since I have Amari Cooper on my team, so I might have actually won. Oh, yeah, I put up 180 points. 1 week too late because now I'm out of the playoffs. Amari Cooper, thanks for 51 points. But, yeah, I destroyed my opponent, it looks like. Don't you just hate that about fantasy? You lose when you don't want to, but you win when you don't want to. I'm over it. Alright, guys, I hope you had a great Christmas. I am now back. I should be back Tuesday through Friday, and then we'll see about next week. I don't know yet because I'm going to go to the Packer game this weekend, so we'll see if I upload Monday, Tuesday, or not. But today we're just going to be looking at the NFL games this week. We had some great ones. We had some terrible games. Yeah, so let's just get right back into it. So we kicked it off on Thursday in LA. I kind of already talked about this game, but Derek Carr, he played actually pretty alright. I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks. People just love hating on him because of his contract, but he can still ball. 9 for 19, really good job right there from Alvin Kamara, but he did make it up catching 5 receptions if you had him in fantasy. Chris Olave had a pretty good game, and from the Saints, that's pretty much it. Then we go check out the Rams. Matthew Stafford continues to ball, and then on the receiving game, Puka Nacua is actually that guy, and you know, Cooper Kupp played pretty alright, and Marcus Robinson. Now the games I haven't talked about yet. The Steelers beat the Bengals to keep them in the playoff hunt, which, I mean, they could definitely get in if they win out, but they got to face the Seahawks and the Ravens, so it'll be pretty tough. Bengals got the Chiefs this week, but Jake Browning continues to look, like, he can look good, he can look bad. I just not too sure on this guy yet. But Joe Mixon had a pretty decent game, and of course T. Higgins went off. For the Steelers, Mason Rudolph looks like prime Ben Roethlisberger out there, leading them to the Super Bowl. I don't know. But George Pickens is Antonio Brown 2.0, averaging 49 yards per reception, and of course had 2 touchdowns last night. With the good defense that they played, I think the Steelers might be able to sneak into the playoffs, but probably not. The Bills almost threw this one away. Josh Allen didn't play very well. Then you have the rushing game. Leonard Fournette, for some reason, was not looking that bad on 4 yards per carry, but Josh Allen had 2 rushing touchdowns, so that makes up for the passing game. But still, Gabe Davis either looks like prime Randy Moss or looks like Jalen Reagor, so we never will know. Easton Stick played alright, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The rushing game was kind of where it was at, 65 yards from Eckler, and then everything else just kind of looked mad to me. Now we're on to the Sunday games, and yeah, the Falcons beat the Colts, which I was completely wrong about. Maybe they aren't useless, and maybe Gardner Minshew won't be a starter next year because he didn't even throw a touchdown this week with a 54% completion percentage. So I don't know. And then on the Falcons side, Taylor Heineke just seems to be better than Desmond Ridder, and when you actually use Bijan Robinson, look what happens. You put up almost 30 points. Add away Arthur Smith. The Commanders and the Jets, it looked like the Jets were going to run away with this game, but then they put in Jacoby Brissett once again, and they start making this comeback. So I don't know exactly what was going on. Chris Rodriguez, I've never heard of this guy, but he had 58 rushing yards because, well, we all know that Brian Robinson's out. But Terry had 50 yards. It just was the weirdest game. I thought they were running away with it, but Trevor Siemian must have thrown an interception. Of course, I wasn't watching this game. I was watching the Packer game. But, yeah, not looking too good. 96 yards receiving for Breece Hall, which is strange because he only had, okay, he had 95 rushing yards. I thought this was his stat line. Never mind. Lions-Vikings. Lions win the NFC North for the first time in 30 years. Congratulations, Detroit. I'm actually pretty happy for you. But let's look at what you guys had going. You guys were in Minnesota, so I thought this would be a tough game, but Jared Goff played well. Jameer Gibbs played well. David Montgomery played well. And, of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 100 yards, 1 touchdown. The defense did okay. They did good enough at the end of the game to cause that turnover to get Nick Mullins 4 interceptions. So yeah, the Lions defense is for real. Okay, they could maybe make it to the NFC Championship game. I don't see them going to a Super Bowl, but hey, I don't know. Justin Jefferson made that 1 catch. It was insane. 141 yards. He still is the best receiver in football when he's actually playing. Another game I really didn't care about watching that much, but I'm upset the Seahawks won. Geno looks good again. What else can I really say about this one? Kenneth Walker played well. Overall, it was a pretty decent game from the Titans side. Ryan Tannehill's back with not much to see on the passing game. He threw a 52 yards, but Derrick Henry had 88. Thanks for the I'm on fantasy, hey. And he got a touchdown. Instead of having like 9 rushes for 2 yards like he did last week, he actually rushed for 4.6 yards a carry. So thank you. Jordan Love played pretty well. We need to bump that completion percentage up, but overall, 0 takeaways from the defense against him. And then Aaron Jones, prime Barry Sanders numbers out here, with 39 as his longest rush, which 0 touchdowns. I was very upset about that. That they just pushed the ball in with A.J. Dillon, but Aaron really needed a touchdown today, and he did not get one. And then on the offense, Wicks had a touchdown, Dobbs had a touchdown, and this is really what impressed me from Jordan Love today. We didn't have Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and then some of your guys go out during the game. Dontavius Wicks went out during the game, and he's still putting up numbers like this. That is really impressive, and that's why he is the guy in Green Bay. Now to look at the Packers' defensive stats. Well, as you can see, we had 2 sacks, 0 interceptions, 0 forced fumbles. Okay, that doesn't matter. Let's just look at the Panthers stats. Bryce Young, Patrick Mahomes out here. I mean, what else can I really say? He can also run the ball. This is pretty much Patrick Mahomes' stats on the daily, except if he's playing anyone with a decent defense, like the Raiders. We'll get to that later. And then Tommy Tremble, Adam Thielen, and DJ Chark combined for like 400 yards. So, yeah, the Packers' defense really wasn't looking too good, huh? Maybe Joe Barry should get fired. Alright, Browns, Texans. This one I didn't watch much of. I just knew that Joe Flacco was going to ball out for 3 touchdowns and almost 400 yards. Again, best quarterback in December, and there's really no debate. I know he threw a bunch of interceptions, but who really cares when Amari Cooper goes for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns. And on the first possession of the game, he got that 75-yarder, so yeah. Case Keenum, Davis Mills. I'm glad they finally put Davis Mills in there. He really is the second best quarterback on that team. Maybe they can get a couple wins with him, but Devin Singletary is just not a good number 1 back. And Damian Pierce, what happened? What happened? He was so good last year, and then they just got nothing going in the passing game rather than Dalton Schultz. Good win for the Browns, though. Jags versus Bucks. It was such a beatdown. I think T-Law is not healthy yet. Baker played great once again. He's starting to get hot. They got a winning record now. And then they just have nothing going for them on offense once again. Bucks with the win. Game of the week, Dallas versus the Dolphins. Dolphins pulled away. I was wrong on this one. Dak played great. He played fine, actually. He didn't have a great game, but the rushing game for the Cowboys just hasn't been there this year. But CD had a good game. Jake Ferguson, Brandon Cooks with that huge touchdown. They just didn't have enough on defense to stop Tua and Tyreek. Like, how many yards did Tyreek have? 99. When you're watching the game, he was so much more dominant, it looked like. And then Jalen Waddle, they were actually able to shut down, but he got hurt during the game. So, yeah. Once again, the Dolphins actually might be good since they beat a winning team for once. So, I don't know, maybe I was wrong about them. Who cares about this game? I'm gonna let you look at their stats, okay? Hopefully this is enough. Nobody cares about this game. Both of these teams have nothing to do the rest of the season. Hey, pretty impressive 112 yards from Khalil Herbert. And then on Sunday night, we had the game of the week. The Broncos, I did not want to pick them this week since I feel like once that winning streak was over, they were just done. And once again, after the winning streak, they were done because they lost back-to-back weeks now. And yeah, Zeke played out of his mind, people are saying, but look at this. He had 6 yards was his longest run, and he was averaging 2.29. So, yeah, congratulations. The passing game wasn't there. It must have been like, oh, Russell Wilson played okay. Honestly, he played a great game. I don't know what went wrong in this game. I really wasn't watching it. And then we moved to the Christmas games. I was watching the Bucks game during this time. I was watching basketball, but we did have the Raiders beat the Chiefs. And Aiden O'Connell had 62 yards and didn't complete a pass in the second half, I believe. That's true. I saw that on Ghetto Gronk. But the rushing game, Zamir White might be their dude. Amir Abdullah, he needs to retire. He's getting old. But yeah, they had nothing going for them on offense rather than running the ball. And Patrick Mahomes, he did okay. People are hating on him a little too much since he's Patrick Mahomes, but 5.3 yards per carry for 53 yards. Isaiah Pacheco got hurt. They just don't have anyone to throw the ball to. Rashee Rice continues to be okay, and then look at Travis Kelce. It might be over in Kansas City. Here we go. I watched the end of this game. The Giants started to make a comeback once they pulled out DeVito, so the DeVito magic's over. Saquon, good game. The receiving, they could not catch the ball, it looks like. And on the Eagles side, well, Jalen Hurts, he played okay. There's so much hate throwing around. They're like, I don't even know if he's a top 10 QB. Get that out Get your head out of the gutter. I mean, seriously, Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 QB. He led his team to the Super Bowl last year and almost single-handedly beat Patrick Mahomes. I know he has a lot of help, but he was doing that by himself. He threw up 34, 35 points in the Super Bowl last year. Come on. And then the game, I fell asleep watching on the couch last night. We have Ravens, 49ers, and the Ravens won by 2 touchdowns because Lamar Jackson might be the MVP right now, even though I still think it should be Tyreek, CMC, or Dak Prescott, but whatever, I don't know anything. Isaiah Likely played a pretty good game. Zay Flowers played a pretty good game. The running was, they didn't rush the ball like I wanted them to, but Sam Darnold got in at the end because he threw 4 picks. Apparently Brock Purdy isn't who he thought he was. I'm shocked. Brock Purdy just got enough yards to get us over. I knew it was 244.5, 254.5 I think is what it was, so he got 1 over that, so congratulations. Christian McCaffrey did Christian McCaffrey things, and then Ronnie Bell, whoever that is, got a touchdown. So yeah, looks like the Ravens might just be the best team in the NFL right now. Alright guys, that is my week 16 recap, I guess. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow's video is going to be yet, but we'll see.